Shalom. Yahweh Shem Yahweh to the brothers. Shalom. Yahweh Shemar Luthar, Bashem Yahweh Shah to the sisters. I'm Priest and Officer Lamawad of the ISUPK, that's the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge here in Dallas, Texas. Tonight is the Wednesday law class, and Salakia. ISUPK was started in 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. And if you're not in ISUPK, you're not in the truth. Tonight is the Wednesday law class. And since we're in the month of a holiday for the heathen, which is Thanksgiving. And then after that, we got December coming up, which is the worst holiday you could celebrate, which is Christmas. So it's important to remind our people what they should be serving, who they should be serving, and the things that they should be doing, rather than what they see the heathen doing. But a lot of our children, generation after generation, do not know these things, and it's a real shock to them to learn what the ISUPK already knows, which is the true way to read and understand these scriptures. And what the whole matter is to fear God and keep his commandments. So let's go ahead and dive right into this thing. One holy day that we have coming up pretty soon is the Feast of Hanukkah. I urge any brother or sister that is not in the ISUPK to get with the ISUPK and come celebrate with your brothers and sisters and learn a new way of living, learn the Lord's way of living, learn how to truly live rather than being the walking dead out here on these streets, thinking that you live in the life when really you just living a life of destruction. But we'll get into that a little bit later on. Right now, we're going to get into the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 11. That's Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 16. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 11, verse 16. Take heed to yourselves that your heart be not deceived. So meaning you need to think about your integrity and what you allowing your mind to take on. You got to be very mindful of what you're supposed to do versus what you're not supposed to do. And don't be deceived by all these things in the world that's left out here to be a stumbling block for you, to cause you to err. Let's go on. And ye turn aside and serve other gods. So in this place, well, let me finish this out, and worship them. So in this place we call America, or just the world in general, because our people are so lost, and we don't really know our true nationality, our history, our heritage, our culture. We look to find something to hold on to, something, a place of belonging. And, we latch on to a lot of things. One of those things, one of the biggest things is Christianity. With this, with this Edomite figure as Christ. When Christ had a hair of wool, white as snow, and feet of brass, fine brass, as if it burnt in a furnace. You know, so you can't read in the scriptures that this is how Christ looked like, and then now you see this pale Edomite and think that that's what you should worship. It's mind blowing how people can come to that conclusion, or they can't even wrap their head around, that Christ is a black man. And so, like you say, the scriptures say here, don't be deceived or turn aside. So don't turn aside the ways you're supposed to actually go, that narrow pathway that you're supposed to follow, which is these commandments. Don't turn aside from your people, and the brotherhood that y'all are supposed to be showing each other, and the culture you're supposed to have with one another, in the and don't turn aside the laws that you're supposed to follow, because you turn those aside, now you serving other gods. You serving Allah through Islam, then you serving Buddha through Buddhism. Some of you turn into atheists where you don't believe anything at all. Like we just popped up on the scene some kind of way, and it's really bad that a lot of us can read this book and not understand that that is us that it's talking about. Let me go on here. Verse 17, and then the Lord's wrath be kindled against you. So when you go out and you worship all these different gods that's made of wood and stone, brass and gold and all this stuff, some of you worship yourselves. Some of you worship women. Um, when you do these things, the Lord's wrath is kindled against you. Like he's about to do some things to you that you're gonna wonder what in the world is going on. Why is this happening to me? And it's happening to you because you are the Lord's chosen people. That's blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. They comprise the 12 tribes of Israel. And they were given the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. And they were charged to keep those laws as a covenant. And a covenant is an agreement. And both parties have to hold up their end of the deal. And Most High God, he's always been holding up his end of the deal, even more than we deserve. We're the ones that constantly break his laws. We're the ones in this world, well, not here in the UPK, but in the Christian church teaching you don't even have to keep his laws no more. When the book tells you, you most definitely got to keep the laws. Without keeping these laws, you get shot on the street. You sleeping with everybody up and down the street and all around town. Now you a passport bro and everything like that. Without these laws, you eating everything in sight. You trying all kinds of foods and things like that. You have got to obey these laws to know how to live. And especially when it comes to these holidays, you got to obey these laws just so you know what not to celebrate. Let me read on. And he shut up the heaven that there be no rain, and that the land yield not her fruit, and lest ye perish quickly from off the good land which the Lord giveth you. That's why we on the bottom of everything in this place. Everywhere around the world you go, if it is a descendant of Abraham, Isaac, or Jacob, we are in slums. We are in ghettos. We are in projects. We are just low on the totem pole, as they say. And that's because the Lord's wrath is kindled against us because we won't do what he asked us to do when it was a simple thing to do. To obey the law means, you either do or don't do something. It's that simple. I mean, I don't understand why. Well, I do understand why. It's because you want to do what you want to do, and we got to understand sometimes that you got to put aside your vain ways. Meaning your ways ain't producing nothing. They ain't producing a thing. You think it is just because of the material things, but at the end of the day, it don't produce nothing. Verse 18, therefore shall ye lay up these my words in your heart and in your soul. You're supposed to lay up the Lord's way in your mind, your heart. Not here. This just pumps blood. This just gets the beating fast when you get emotional. But this is what you use to think with, to rationalize with. And you're supposed to lay up the Lord's words right in there. And in your soul, meaning everything you do, all that you are, and bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they may be as frontlets between your eyes. Everything you do should be of the Lord. Everything that you walk out here and do, it should have to do with the Lord. Your speech, your mannerisms, how you treat people, how you interact with people, how you do business with people. All of it is in these laws, statutes, and commandments. How you treat your kids, how you treat your wife, how your wife treats her husband. All of it is right here in this book. You just got to know how to decipher it. Here in the UPK, teach you how to decipher. This book was written by niggas. Slang. And once you understand that, you come to that knowledge, a lot of you will understand it, you'll get it, and you'll be able to pick it up. All right. I'm going to move on. Let's go to the book of Amos 5 and 21. That's the book of Amos 5 and 21. Give me a second to get there. Again, I'm going to the book of Amos. That's chapter 5 and verse 21. All right. This is the book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 21. I hate. And we start the verse off with I hate. Mr. Most High, I despise your feast days. He despises our feast days. All these holidays that we went into, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Columbus Day, Easter, Martin Luther King Day, Juneteenth. What else we got? We just had Veterans Day, Father's Day, Mother's Day, your birthday. Lord says, I despise your feast days. and I will not smell in your solemn assembly. Salakia, in your solemn assemblies. You assemble together, you get in that circle, you get to doing this long prayer to absolutely no one. Because I would let you know, the Lord say he heareth not sinners, but their prayers are an abomination, an absolute abomination to the Lord. I mean, that's pretty tough right there when you think about it. That, you sitting there as a Christian and you think you doing the right thing, and you down on your knees and you got your eyes closed, and you praying with such emotion, and you praying for like almost 10 minutes, and you get up off your knees and you think, yeah, I done did something. All you did was pray to yourself. Lord ain't heard none of that. Not a bit. Let's turn to Jeremiah 10:1. We got to get out of these vain philosophies. These philosophies that lead to absolutely nothing. They have no kind of they have no kind of fruit to them. You don't bear anything out of it. As far as when it's dealing with the Lord, you want to bear fruit. The only way you can do that is with the Lord. And the only way that the Lord is going to deal with you is if you obey him. And to obey him is to keep his law, statutes, and commandments. I mean, it's just as simple as that. In the UPK, we have Wednesday law class every week, all across the world. And every one of the brothers, the Ottawamians and the Akims, they all teach you that, you got to keep this law. And it's not a hard thing to do. No one's asking you to do a whole lot. We're just asking you to love the Lord. I mean, most of you say you love the Lord and you got a personal relationship with the Lord, and all of this, but the Lord looking at you like, where? Who are you talking about? Well, better yet, the Lord don't even know. He ain't even studying you at the end of the day. He don't know about this relationship you talking about. So this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. Verse 2. Take with it, right. To turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. Now, I bring that up because, there's a pastor that just gave a sermon about not giving to the homeless, because he said there's, you don't get anything out of it. Now, the Lord is telling you, you very much is supposed to do this. You take away the right from the poor people. Like, don't you know the poor people gonna always be with us, and that giving to the poor people is given to Christ. But you want to go celebrate Christmas. You want to buy gifts for Christmas. You want to multiply your pockets so you can buy more things that are in vain and that mean absolutely nothing. Let's move on to Jeremiah 2 and 32. Well, actually, let's go to Jeremiah 10 and 1. That was Isaiah 10 and 1, Salakia. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. So right now we know that the Lord is dealing with the house of Israel, dealing with the 12 tribes of Israel. He ain't dealing with nobody else. He ain't dealing with these other nations. They are not the people of the book. They are not the children of God. Verse 2, thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. The heathen is anyone that is not Israel. And the Lord is telling you to not learn the way of the heathen. But you want to go out here and celebrate Thanksgiving. You want that turkey on your plate. You want that ham. You know, you want all the other fixings that go along with it. You want all of that. And I'm not saying eating eating these foods other than the ham, that's abomination. Lord say don't deal with that pork. Turkey, there ain't nothing bad to eat, but what you doing it for is the wrong thing. That day is when the native Indians were slaughtered. You need to go look up the history of the Trail of Tears, how they were bashing babies on the, on the ground and up against the stones because the women would have to stop and feed the baby and the baby be crying and all of that, and it would slow them down. And so those soldiers, they didn't want that. Yeah, I believe it was Andrew Jackson that was doing this. And it's a grievous thing for you to sit down and you praying over this food and and you keeping this day. It's disrespect to your brothers and sisters. And you should really fully grasp that in your mind that if your brother or your sister or your mother or your uncle, your father, something like that died in a horrendous way and you doing something would disrespect their death, I mean, would you do that? Like, would you really do that? Like, you really got to search out your soul, search out your heart, and ask yourself and wrap your mind around what you're doing to grow up and really understand what's going on in this place. Let's continue on. Let me start over. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. You got things like the eclipse that passed. They racing out trying to see the eclipse, almost burning their eyeballs out, trying to look at the sun so they can see this eclipse and everything, taking it as some kind of sign or some kind of powerful thing. At the end of the day, to us Israelites, the moon just passed in front of the sun. That's all it is. It, the Earth's rotation, the moon's rotation, the sun, and it just went in front and it blocked the light. If I stand in front of the light, it's gonna go dark. It's that simple. I mean, well, it's no ooky spooky. You know, if we don't sacrifice 1,000 babies, the gods gonna be, mad with us, and we gonna have some kind of famine. Now, obeying the Lord's law, statutes, and commandments, breaking that is gonna have Most High God mad at you and cause you famines and all kinds of curses. That's what's gonna hurt you. That's what you should be dismayed at. But you all them signs in heaven, you shouldn't be dismayed at that. That don't have nothing to do with nothing at the end of the day. You following the way of the heathen. And that's the end. That's the end all be all. You following the way of the heathen. He leading you the wrong direction, and because you won't grow up, you just following along, with him. Not even beside him. You just holding his hand like a little kid being led down to destruction. The Lord wants you to stand on your own 10 toes. You know what I'm saying? Stand on these law, statutes, and commandments like a rock. You got to be immovable and blameless. Let's go ahead. Verse 3. For the customs of the people are vain. Celebrating Christmas, Easter, 4th of July, all these holidays, these are their customs. It's not your customs. And they're vain, meaning they don't produce anything. They don't do anything for you. Christmas comes and it goes. Easter comes and it goes. 4th of July, you watch the fireworks and it goes. It don't produce nothing. At least it don't produce nothing for you. For them, it produces revenue because you go and you spend all your money. Yeah. Before Thanksgiving come up, you're out buying all the food, supermarkets and everything. Make all the money out for you. Then turn around, we getting towards Christmas. Now, you starting right after Thanksgiving is when everything goes on sale. And then you start buying up stuff, getting ready for Christmas, going into debt. A lot of you don't even have the money for it. So you put it on a credit card or something like that. You take on an extra job as if you wasn't working hard enough as it was. You're already working 12 hours a day. Now you're going to do 15, 18. I mean, shoot, if you're doing 15, 18, it's only 24 hours. So that means all you're doing is working and sleeping. Instead of working 5 days a week, you're working 6. And you like, man, I gotta buy these gifts. Now you're working 7 days. Lord say you're supposed to work 6 and rest 7. Rest on the 7th. But you do this year after year after year after year. And the Lord says that the customs of the people are vain. Don't produce nothing. Watch football, that's a custom. Some people watch football religiously. It's in vain. It don't do nothing. They go season after season. Somebody wins the championship. They do a little celebration, and then what happens? They start it all over again, do the same thing. The NBA, any other sports that you can think of, it's just repetition. It's the same thing every year. Even the arguments about it, who's better than what, not same thing every year. It's no different. You got people so invested, they be out here at these high schools and junior highs, ready to fight, ready to act a pure D fool over a game, emotionally invested when you should be invested in the Lord. Continuing on, for one cutteth a tree out of the forest. Now we talking about the customs of the people and that are vain. It's saying, for one cutteth a tree out of the forest. So now somebody is in the forest cutting a tree down. I hope you catching on. The work of the hands of the workmen. So now it's a workman out here. This is somebody putting in some work with the axe. So he out here working with an axe, cutting a tree down. What he gonna do with this tree? What y'all think he gonna do with this tree? Seeing that what we talking about right now. We talking about these vain holidays. The customs of the people are vain. So what you think he about to do with this tree? Let's find out. Verse 4. They deck it with silver and with gold. What tree do you decorate with silver and gold? Some of you, it might not be silver and gold. You may try to decorate it some other color. But I think you get the gist of where we're going with this. They fasten it with nails and with hammers that it move not. So they fastening it down. They letting it sit upright. They fasten it down so that it don't move, so that it don't fall. Because back in the day, before they had Christmas tree stands, you had to nail it down to the floor so that it didn't fall. Yeah, we talking about a Christmas tree here. Verse 5. They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. So you got this tree is standing up in your house, you done fastened it down. They must needs be born because they cannot go, but be not afraid of them, for they can not do evil, neither also is it in them to do good. It's just a tree. That's all it is. But some of y'all, boy, y'all look on, y'all gaze upon that tree. We've been there, all of us been there at one point in time. But maybe not all of us, but a large majority of us. You in awe of that tree. Got the candy canes on it. When I was a kid, I'm sneaking getting them candy canes. I just wanted the candy. I didn't care about the tree. But it's what's under the tree that you cared about. That's why you hold on to the holiday like you hold on to it. What's under the tree. Verse 6. For as much as there is none like unto thee, O Lord, thou art great, and thy name is great in might. Only the Lord is great. You know 25th of December, you celebrate Christmas, and you do it because you think it's the Lord's, you think it's Christ's birthday. They don't have nothing to do with Christ. Christ ain't even celebrate his birthday. Nobody celebrated a birthday in this book. Challenge any one of y'all to find a birthday in this book. You're not going to find it. All right, let's go. Let me see here. Let me read on. Let's go ahead and read on. Verse 7. Who would not fear thee, O King of nations? For to thee doth it appertain, for as much as among all the wise men of the nations, and in all their kingdoms, there is none like unto thee. Verse 8. But they are altogether brutish and foolish. The stock is a doctrine of vanities. You know, the heathen love their vanities. They love all of this, you know, their trinkets and their statues and you know, like say the tree and the presents and all of that. They love to, you know, be seen. But the only thing that matters is the Lord, the Most High God. That's all that matters. He gave you life. And the simplest thing that you could give back to him that he asked you to do is just obey. And so that's why you should not celebrate any of these holidays because the Lord said so. It's very simple. The Lord ain't got to give you a reason. He ain't gotta he ain't gotta explain himself. It's simply because he said so. Let's move on to Jeremiah 2, verse 32. The book of, let me see. All right. Let's start at verse 31. Book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 31. O generation, see ye the word of the Lord. Have I been a wilderness unto Israel, a land of darkness? Wherefore say my people, we are lords. We will come no more unto thee. How you gonna try to put yourself higher than the Most High? Ain't he the one that did it? Has he not been there for us? Lord has always been there for us. It was us that wasn't there for him. Verse 32. Can a maid forget her ornaments, or a bride her attire? Yet my people have forgotten me days without number. It has been so long since, as a nation, we have served the Lord. We have not served the Lord the way the Lord would have us do it. The men and women in the UPK, we are doing it, but the Lord wants to see the nation come together and do it. To put down these holidays, put down the ways of the heathen, come back to the true power that we are supposed to be. To come back and be the children of God the way he intended it. But we're the ones that continually just, you know, we continually say we're not going to do it. And that's why we suffer the way that we suffer, because We are disobedient children. Like it should be a simple thing that, he say this, you do that. But because we want to, like I say, we want to serve ourselves. We too busy. We want to be happy. We always seeking out happiness when you should be seeking out obedience. It's happiness in obedience. It's love in obedience. Verse 33. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? You stop the ways that we're supposed to be following and the ways we're supposed to be doing because you want to seek some kind of vain love from your oppressor. You want to appease your children on Christmas. Because that's the excuse I get from most people. Well, you did Christmas, so if you want to take away, see, don't use the children like that against the Lord. That is a sad thing that you would use children like that. Let me start again from the beginning. Book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 33. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. Yeah, we turn around and teach all our way. We give away all our stuff. Everything we do. Like pretty soon, hip hop will not be remembered as black people or, blacks, Hispanics, and all of that who made it and pushed it and made it everything that it is. Later on, rap and all of that, history will be written in a different way. It'll be your oppressors that's remembered for it. That's just one example of things we give away. But there's a lot of things that we give away. There's a lot of inventions that our people have made that our oppressor has taken credit for and that we gave it over and, oh, it'll be all right, and no, it won't be all right. It would not be all right at all. Let's move on. So now we need to know, what the Lord requires. Let's go to Mark 7:6. What's the book of Mark 7:6? Let's see here. This is the book of Mark, chapter 7, verse 6. And this is Christ speaking. He answered and said unto them, well, hath Isaiah prophesied of you, hypocrites, as it is written, this people honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. So when you at that Thanksgiving dinner, and before that dinner, y'all around in this big circle praying and giving thanks, you need to ask yourself, are you really speaking to the Lord? Because the Lord here is saying you honoring him with your lips, you running your mouth, but your heart is far from him, meaning your mind is far from the Lord. Because after Thanksgiving, after you done did all this prayer, you finna hit the club. Yeah, it's a holiday. You finna hit the club. Now, I'm not saying hitting the club is necessarily a bad thing, but what you what your intentions are the bad thing. Yeah, the things you gonna do. Your heart is far from the Lord. Verse 7, howbeit in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. So you follow after men. We know Christ wasn't born in the dead of winter. You follow after men when you sit down at the table to eat that turkey and dressing, knowing that your brothers and sisters were just slaughtered. You obey the commandments of men, you know, when you out there popping off fireworks and everything else, celebrate barbecuing and celebrating on the 4th of July. You teach the doctrines of men. You teach your children. Oh yeah, that 4th of July coming up. We gonna barbecue. I'm gonna get you some fireworks. Easter come up. I'm gonna get you an Easter basket. I'm gonna get you a nice dress, a nice suit. We gonna go up in that church on the wrong day. Doctrines of men. Verse 8, for laying aside the commandment of God. You take God's commandments, lay them aside. We ain't gotta keep it. We ain't gotta keep God's laws. Why Christ died. That's what your Christians say. Because in their heart, they just want to be wicked. And they gotta justify it. They deceive themselves. Like, you ever been around somebody that lies so much they believe they own lie? That's what that is. For laying aside the commandment of God, ye hold the tradition of men as the washing of pots and cups and many other such like things ye do. You you just lay aside the Lord like he ain't nothing. That's because he ain't holding you, he ain't physically holding you accountable right now. But he most definitely is he's counting off the score for you. All the things you doing that you think ain't gonna be held against you because of the blood. When you don't even understand what none of that was talking about. Let's go to verse 9. And he said unto them, full well ye reject the commandment of God, that ye may keep your own tradition. Well, we celebrate Christmas every year. I mean, that's what my daddy did. That's what my granddaddy did, and my great granddaddy. That's what my mama's mama. My grandma, my great grandma, all my family. That's what we did. That's tradition. And you didn't even get the tradition from yourself. You got it from your oppressor. You got it from the heathen. Christmas has to do with Nimrod. Nimrod's birthday was on the 25th of December, as I understand it. The whole putting up of the tree and the putting the gifts under the tree is because of Nimrod. As I understand it, the story goes that if you didn't put the gifts under the tree, he would come and kill you. Some more ooky spooky ghost nonsense. So a lot of I mean, and I was guilty of it at one point in time. Um, but you follow this stuff and you don't even know what it's about. You don't even care to know what it's about. What you care about is the gifts. When the scriptures say a gift destroyeth the heart, I mean, it destroys your mind. It puts you to sleep to the things that you're doing. It makes you think you're doing right when you're doing wrong. All right, let's go to Isaiah 24, verse 5. It's Isaiah 24, verse 5. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 24, verse 5. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. You want to change the laws. I mean, that's like, you might as well just tell the Lord, to hell with your law. Because you want to change. First you transgress them, then you want to change the ordinance. You want to change what is. The Lord say celebrate this day. You say, nah, I'm going to celebrate that day. The Lord say keep this holy. You say, nah, I'm going to keep this holy. You're not following the Lord. You're following yourself. You're following your emotions, how you feel about it. Because you like, well, ain't no gifts involved with that. What I get out of it ain't about what you get out of it. It's because the Lord said do it and you do it. You know what you get out of it? You get to live. That's what you should think about. It says we broken the everlasting covenant. It's everlasting, but we broke it. Well, and even after all of that, the Lord still loves us. Even after all of that, the Lord still says, I'll make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah. Not with the whole world, as Christianity would tell us. Let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 22. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 22. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 22. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? How long you just gonna love being simple? Not having to think about things, not having to, ponder on what is and what isn't. You just want to go along to get along. And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. You're a fool if you don't want to understand and learn the ways of the Lord. Understand why you on this planet. Why are you in this state of being? Why you live the way you live? Why you celebrate these heathens holidays the way you celebrate? Why are your people in such dire need and in such horrible conditions? Verse 23, turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. So if you would just turn yourself back to the Lord, he'll pour his spirit out upon you. He will turn you into something new, holy, separate from everybody else. Salakia, 1 second. Salakia, I had to make sure that it didn't end. All right. Let's go to verse. Let's see. Let's go down to verse 26. Book of Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 26. I also will laugh at your calamity. So the Lord's asking you to obey him and to keep his holy days and not celebrate these heathens' days, not to follow after the heathen, not to do the ways of the heathen. But you choose to go ahead and do it, even though he's asking you not to, even telling you why you shouldn't, telling you it's vain, that there's nothing that comes of it. But you choose to do it anyway. So the Lord turns around and says, I'll laugh at your calamity. Yeah, when you spend all that money for Christmas and you got all that credit card debt and you lose your job and you can't pay none of it back, and now you sitting over here, Lord help me, Lord laughing at you. It's like if you will. Let me back up. Let me back up here. Verse 22, and fools hate knowledge. So yeah, you didn't want the knowledge that the Lord was trying to give you. So now he's laughing at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. Yeah, when they about to put you out on the street, yeah, when they about to just throw your stuff out on the street, they gonna repossess your car. You don't know where you gonna sleep for the night because ain't nobody trying to let you stay at their crib. You end up under a bridge somewhere, and then even then, cops come tell you can't be there. Yeah, Lord said he gonna mock you. He gonna mock you. That's tough. Oh man. Verse 27, when your fear cometh as desolation and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you. Yeah, you stressed out. You don't know what to do. Like it's hitting you so fast. It's coming at you so quick. Looking left and right. It's just all kinds of things. Your world is just collapsing on you. And you don't know what's going on. You don't understand why. Lord laughing. Like, yeah, you knew it all. I sent them brothers from the UPK around, told you the truth, told you what it was and what to do and how to do it. You laughed, you scorned at them. You scorned the Lord. That pastor that said you giving to the poor, there's no fruit to it. The scriptures say, like I said, to give to the poor and the hungry and all of that, you already gave to the Lord. You couldn't do that. You won't give to the Lord. Like it goes hand in hand. Verse 28. Then shall they call upon me. Yeah, see, now, Lord help me. Yeah, I'm finna lose my house. I'm finna lose my car. I'm finna lose, like I don't know where we gonna sleep. I don't know, Lord, I need your help. You didn't need you didn't need, well, the Lord needed your help by obeying what he asked you to obey. You couldn't do something that simple. Now you want him to help you out of this jam that you put yourself in? He says, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early. You up early trying to seek the Lord. You coming quick. Soon as these things coming at you, oh Lord, oh, oh Lord, help me. In the name of the Lord, I rebuke these. Nah, it's not happening. What he say? But they shall not find me. Can't find the Lord. You didn't find him before all this happened. Verse 29, for they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. When it was time for you to choose, you chose wrong. You had a 50-50 shot. You chose wrong. You're supposed to live with that. Live with it. As they say, you made your bed, now lie in it. Yeah, you want to scorn. Verse 30. They would none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. And you walk by us brothers in UPK out in them corners, and we giving you that reproof, and you want to despise it, you despising the Lord. You're not despising us. We speaking the Lord's words. We speaking as the oracles of God. But you're not scoffing at us. You scoffing at the Lord. That's why we don't take it personal. We doing thus say the Lord. Our anger is not kindled. The Lord's anger is kindled. We're not emotional about this. The Lord's word is black and white. You either do it or you don't do it. Ain't no emotion with it. Verse 31, therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. You living under a bridge now, that's the fruit of your own way. Your kids get taken by child services because you can't provide for them no more. That's the fruit of your own. Yeah. I mean, it's a hard thing. But you want to celebrate holidays and not holy days. I mean, I know it sounds simple. I know it sounds like it ain't nothing but just a day. It's just a holiday. The Lord looking at it like, man, you serving something else. You ain't serving me. You serving something else. But you look at it as, man, it's just a day. We ain't doing nothing wrong. All we doing is just eating. Like I say, the Lord looking at you like, man, you doing everything wrong. Everything. Verse 33, but whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely and shall be quiet from fear of evil. If you do the Lord's law, statutes, and commandments, you ain't gotta fear evil. You ain't gotta fear it. It's that simple, cut and dry. You ain't gotta fear nothing because the Lord got you. You gonna dwell safely. That's what we got here in the UPK. That's what the brothers and sisters understand. Walk with the Lord, and you will be safe in this place that's full of darkness. You the light that's shining on everything. You can see everything that's going on because you're walking with the Most High God. Let's go to where are we at? This is Proverbs. Let's go to the book of Colossians 2, verse 8. That's the book of Colossians 2, verse 8. Let me get there. It's the book of Colossians, chapter 2, verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ. So this is just telling you, you know, you better beware, you better be on guard, which, a lot of us, that battle has already been lost. I mean, you didn't really have a chance until you hear the men of the Lord in the UPK, that you thought Christmas was the thing to do. You thought Thanksgiving was the thing to do. You thought celebrating your birthday was the thing to do. And going to church and so-called worshiping the Lord on Sunday, that was the thing to do. But the Lord saying you being spoiled, and a lot of you just don't even know it. I mean, you was a kid brought up, so you don't know no better. But when you run into the brothers and the sisters in UPK, and they pull your coattails, that hey man, that ain't the right thing to do. You need to, without haste, run to the Lord. At minimum, you should go and you should search out the scriptures to see if that is true. Because it says, it's in vain deceit, meaning, they're deceiving you to something that's not going, like I said, it's not going to produce anything. It's not going to do anything for you. It's not going to help you in any kind of way. But especially now, Christmas, you buy all them gifts and stuff like that. Now you got a hole in your pocket, and you got all of these trinkets that sit up in your house, or whatever the case may be, and then at the end of the day, it's for nothing. Some of the stuff you probably don't even use anymore. It's vain. Let's see. Is there any more to that? Let me see. You ain't following after Christ. Verse 9, for in him dwelleth all the fullness of the Godhead bodily. I mean, Christ embodied the law. To know Christ is to know the Most High. So, obeying the law, if you obey it to the fullest, then you one with Christ. So you one with the Most High. So to see you is to see Christ, and to see Christ is to see the Lord. So essentially, just you obeying the law, statutes, and commandments, you can see the Lord. Verse 10, and ye are complete in him, which is the head of all principality and power. These are the principles you should live by. That's just cut and dry. All right, let's go to Jeremiah 7 and 22. I believe is where I want to go next. All right, yeah. So Book of Jeremiah, chapter 7, verse 22. For I spake not unto your fathers, nor commanded them in the day that I brought them out of the land of Egypt concerning burnt offerings or sacrifices. Verse 23. But this thing commanded I them, saying, obey my voice, and I will be your God, and ye shall be my people. But he's claiming the children of Israel. He's showing that that's his possession. And he's saying what to do. Obey his voice. Meaning his law, statutes, and commandments. And ye shall be my people, and walk ye in all the ways that I have commanded you, that it may be well unto you. It's a well thing to walk in the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. It is in your best interest to walk in the law, statutes, and commandments. And that's what you got to get through, as my grandma would say back in the day, through your thick skull. You got to walk with the Lord. There's only one way to do it. What happened? Verse 24, but they hearken not, nor incline their ear. Like you wouldn't even listen to it. We wouldn't even listen to it at one point in time. We didn't want to hear it. When you talk to a Christian nowadays and you try to talk about it, they don't even want to hear it. You might as well be talking politics, which is another thing in itself. Why people get so emotional about politics, I just don't understand. Yeah, the saying is don't talk about politics or religion. I would say why? Like, why are you so emotionally attached to these two subjects? And the Lord saying right here is you wouldn't even incline your ear. You wouldn't even try to hear it. But walked in the counsels and in the imagination of their evil heart and went backward and not forward. So the Lord saying you sitting up here, you don't want to hear the man in UPK tell you about the law, statutes, and commandments. You are literally walking backwards and not forward. He tell you walking away from the kingdom, not towards the kingdom. You up in the church singing, what's that song they say, going to see the king, and some crazy nonsense. And at the end of the day, you ain't going to see nothing. You going backwards. You walking. Lord say you are walking backwards and not forwards. All right. Let's move on to Proverbs 28:9. Proverbs 28:9. Let's see here. Book of Proverbs, chapter 28, verse 9. He that turneth away his ear, remember in the last verse, say you wouldn't even lend your ear. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be an abomination. So you don't even You turneth away from the law, from hearing the law and doing the law. Your prayer is an abomination, like I was talking about earlier with the whole Thanksgiving, Christmas dinner, and you in a circle and you giving thanks and you saying Father God after every sentence and then you mess around and speak in some crazy tripped out language, that you think is some kind of holy language, and you do this for about 10 minutes, and your kids over there, man, they done open their eyes up and they sitting there like, man, I wish he would shut the frick up. You know what I'm saying? Like even some of the grown-ups like, man, come on, man, I'm hungry. You know, Lord said, your prayers shall be an abomination. All that is an abomination. Everything you got going on that day is an abomination. All the way down to the prayer. Verse 10, whoso causeth the righteous to go astray in an evil way, he shall fall himself into his own pit. But the upright shall have good things in possession. That's just you trying to, you trying to get somebody that is serving the Lord to fall. You know what I'm saying? You're going to fall in your own pit. Um, let's go to Ezekiel 3, verse 17. Ezekiel 3, verse 17. Let me get there real quick. Ezekiel 3, verse 17. All right, so this is Ezekiel 3, verse 17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. We come out and we tell you don't celebrate these holidays. We're warning you. We're warning you. I mean, that's what these classes and everything like that. We warning you. Don't go against the Lord. Choose life over death. We trying to be a watchman for our people. Verse 18, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. It's a commandment for us to tell you about this. It's a commandment for us to come out on those street corners and to warn our people of what you are doing and what you should do to get out of it. Because if we don't, the blood is on our hands. And we won't have that. We won't stand for that. We love our people too much. But most of all, we love the Most High God too much. And we love Christ too much. We love our brother like we love ourselves. Verse 19, yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory right there. Go over to Jeremiah 6 and 16. Jeremiah 6 and verse 16. Let's see. Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 16. Thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths. Where is the good way? You should want to celebrate the high holy days. You should want to come back to the Lord and do what the Lord wants you to do. You should seek those old ways. Where is the good way? Because the old way, the old path, is the good way. But you want the new path. You want the new covenant. Because we don't have to keep no laws in the new covenant. Yeah, you Christians really tripped me out with that one. Like Lord said he don't change, but you want to change the ordinance, as the scriptures say. you want to change it. Lord say he changed not. And you not finna make Christ to be the scapegoat when Christ said he is his father, Not that it's this, Trinity, as some people try to say, but he thinks just like his father, which is obeying his law, statutes, and commandments. And walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. You want to find rest? Do what the Lord says do. You want not be stressed out all the time, trying to figure out how to live in this place. You more concerned with trying to be a millionaire than to serve the Lord. You more concerned how to be a famous rapper than to serve the Lord. You more concerned about being, a famous YouTuber than to serve the Lord. And so you stressed out all the time, taking anxiety pills, popping perks, drinking lean, trying to get some kind of rest. And the Lord says, you rest your souls by walking therein. But they said, we will not walk therein. You can't make this up. Let me see. Verse 17, also I set watchmen over you, saying, hearken to the sound of the trumpet. But they said, we will not hearken. We stand out on them street corners. We come to your neighborhoods, and we blowing the trumpet. We crying aloud. You will not hearken. I can scream to the top of my lungs, but it's as if a mouse was speaking. As far as you was concerned, you walk right by like you never heard anything. When you should hearken to the Lord. Let me see. Let's move on. I got a couple of more things here. Let's see here. All right, so let's go to Luke 11 and 28. Book of Luke, chapter 11, verse 28. And this is Christ speaking. Hold on one second. All right. It's the book of Luke, chapter 11, verse 28. But he said, yea, rather, blessed are they that hear the word of God and keep it. So, you know, like you say, we come out, we tell you don't celebrate these holidays. You won't hearken. We come out, we tell you don't eat these foods because it's an abomination to the Lord. You eat it anyway. We tell you, don't hate your brother in your heart. Don't wish evil upon your brother. Don't do all of these things because the Lord commanded us not to do. But you won't hearken. Christ is telling you, yea, rather blessed are they that hear the word of God and keep it. All right. So let's go on to John 14:15. John 14:15. Book of John, chapter 14, verse 15. If ye love me, keep my commandments. So now we're wrapping it up, going into keeping the commandments. Just like in the beginning of tonight, everything that has to do with anything in this book has to do with the commandments. You cannot get around that when it comes to the Lord. Everything is going to always come back to the commandments because that is the only way you can live. The only way you can be anything when it comes to the Lord. The Lord is not concerned with anything else. When they in sports, when somebody wins a championship, they kiss the trophy. I want to give honor and glory to God. God ain't dealing with that because you ain't keeping no commandments. You ain't dealing with him. He ain't dealing with you. All this that you doing this is doctrines of men. This is traditions of men. You just happen to be stronger and faster because you are a child of God. You are a peculiar people. You are separate from everyone else. But that does not mean the Lord is dealing with you because you're not dealing with him. And it's just that simple. We always gonna come back to that. Everything is always gonna come full circle back to obeying the law, statutes, and commandments, hearing the voice of the Lord. Let's see. Let's go to Matthew 5:48. Because what does Christ say about it? This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 48. Be ye therefore perfect. But no, we can't be that nobody's perfect, brother. I tell y'all, anybody that's listening, anybody that hears this, don't say brother to me. When y'all say that brother, I know y'all on some contentious stuff. Don't say that to me. When you hit that brother or that brother, don't hey man, just say "ock" to me. Like my blood starts to boil because I know you about to be contentious. You about to say something slick or something like that, and it really, like in the world make me want to smack you. I mean, but here I don't hate my brother. I don't think that way nowadays, but yeah, just don't say that to me. Like nobody's perfect, brother. I mean, come on, brother. What are we talking about? No, nobody's perfect. The men in the UPK are. Job was. We know Christ was. Even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. So Christ is telling you right here, be perfect. If he didn't think you couldn't do it, then he wouldn't say it. But he knows you can do it. So he's saying it. That's why he came here to show you how to do it. But y'all thinking, y'all trying to make it seem like he came here to wipe it away so you don't have to. Nah, if you don't know, like some they, that's big now is all these like TikTok dances and stuff like that. Well, if you don't know how to do the dance, somebody come and show you how to do the dance. And you telling yourself, I can't do that dance, I can't, but then somebody come and show you how to do it. And then you learn how to do it. So Christ came here to show you how to keep the law. And he requires you to do it, just like God requires you to do it. All right. Psalms 19 and 7. We're going to start pushing through these right fast. Psalms 19 and 7. Let me get there. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 19, verse 7. The law of the Lord is perfect. The law is perfect. You want to be perfect? Follow the law. Converting the soul. You follow the law, makes you perfect. Converts you. The testimony of the Lord is sure. He tells you that if you do it, this is going to happen. It's sure. Everything is what he says it is. Making wise the simple. So, if you're a simple person, you're a simple-minded person, hey man, follow the law. It's the wisest thing you can do. And if you somebody that thinks you know it all, follow the law. It'll humble you. Verse 8, the statutes of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. Like doing the law, it'll make you rejoice. You'll begin to see life a much different way, and things will lift off your shoulders because you'll see that it's vain. It produces nothing. It's about nothing. And what really matters is right here. The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes. Verse 9, the fear of the Lord is clean, enduring forever. Like the law is so perfect. It's from beginning to the end. It's just gonna be there. We pass away, the law's still gonna be there. The judgments of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. It's like you have nothing to fear and everything to gain, nothing to lose by obeying the Lord. It's plain and simple. Like but you have got to make up in your mind that you got to leave that old person behind, the one that's been following after the heathen, the one that's been following these vain traditions of men, the one that's been spoiled by gifts and other things like that. The one that's bringing that tree into his house and decking it with silver and gold. The one that's been celebrating Christ's birthday in the dead of winter when Christ didn't celebrate his own birthday. You gotta leave that person behind. You gotta leave that person behind that goes and shoots the fireworks off in celebration of a wicked people that held your people in captivity and did cruel, unimaginable things to the men, women, and children. You gotta leave behind the man that would look upon his own people in an evil way, that would pick up a gun against his own brother, that would rape his own sister, grape his own sister, Salaki. Um, I mean, it's a horrible thing uh, that our people would not rethink themselves and come back to their true nature, which is being the children of God and obeying the Most High God, and coming back to that true royalty that we were supposed to be from the beginning, because we are supposed to be the government and the rulers of this world. But we gave that up because we love a party at the end of the day. We want happiness at the end of the day. We don't want to have to do the work. We don't want to have to be disciplined. And as I said earlier when I read the scripture, the Lord is laughing at our calamity. He'll mock us. So that's tonight's class. I hope that you found some value in it. Other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and close out. Shalom, Yahabashim Rakatah, Salakia. Shalom, Yahabashim Rakatham to the brothers. Shalom, Yahabashim Ilta, Bashim Yahabashah to the sisters. That's Wednesday's night's class. Shalom, Israel.